Facial recognition systems can identify individuals by running camera footage through a database. Is this something to be afraid of? Worldwide regimes see that as a great tool to improve public safety. Critics argue they will lead to mass surveillance and facilitate intimidation of citizens. How and to what extent these systems are used will affect all of us, but many people don't know much about them.
Have you heard of facial recognition systems? No, I haven't. Maybe I have in the movies.
Everyone has rights. Facial recognition is a violation of my freedoms.
If a criminal is wanted, some crime happens, and then public cameras can be used to recognize the offender. I think that's a good thing.
Those in power can easily abuse it. We are in Budapest, Hungary's capital. The Hungarian parliament has recently made it easier for authorities to use facial recognition. The background: the parliament adopted a law to ban protests that promote or depict homosexuality or gender transition for children. People who take part in events deemed illegal face fines of up to 500 euros. To identify them, police will be allowed to use facial recognition. First regulated by Hungarian law in 2016, facial recognition was initially permitted to tackle serious issues like terrorism, organized crime, or finding missing persons. The latest legal changes allow its use for all kinds of offenses, which essentially means that if someone drops a tissue or parks in an inappropriate place, they can still be identified by facial recognition.
I think it's terribly scary. I think it's a very bad direction we're going in. It's most used, to the best of my knowledge, in China and North Korea.
The law has sparked protests and hefty criticism from human rights organizations. The European Union is also especially concerned about the use of facial recognition technology on a large scale. They have set clear rules on its use in 2023. If it's used to deter demonstrations, this kind of mass use of facial recognition systems is in itself against the Hungarian constitution. It also violates the right to data protection, and it violates the laws of the European Union because they protect your right to your personal data. Adam Remport is a human rights lawyer. He thinks that if the Hungarian police use facial recognition to identify and find peaceful protesters, it will lead to EU actions against Hungary. But apart from that, how is this supposed to work? Budapest Pride attracts tens of thousands of visitors every year. The parade covers more than 3 kilometers and lasts for several hours. Although it's forbidden, the organizers say it will take place in June. There are no specific facial recognition systems installed in Hungary's capital yet, but there are standard surveillance cameras in place. Recognition software can analyze the footage from these cameras, as well as the material from devices that are being installed by the police specifically for this occasion. Facial recognition works very efficiently. At borders, for example, it can scan through databases with wanted criminals and identify them with an accuracy of up to 99.97%. But scanning a huge crowd is on a whole different level. If 10,000 to 20,000 people go out to a demonstration, a lot of pictures will be taken where someone is partially covered. People are too close to each other. The lighting is not suitable, or the face is taken at an angle the facial recognition system can't properly identify. It is therefore conceivable that the error rate will be much higher than it would be otherwise, and someone who might have been somewhere else in the country will be fined. The consequences of faulty results can be severe. If they produce a false positive, they can also lead to unlawful arrests. This happened in 2020 to Robert Williams, a black man from Detroit in the US. An automated system identified him as a wanted criminal. But people that might join the Budapest Pride are not in specific databases, and the system in use is not working locally. It's located at the National Expert and Research Center. The police will have to compare images of protesters to what biometric data is stored there. The police can automatically request a facial image analysis without any controls. That is, they simply use the facial recognition software itself, which gives them 5 hits. And based on this, the police officer who requested it selects the person who, in his opinion, is the most similar to the person involved in the violation. Remport says there are no official statements about the system's technical details, even though it would be of fundamental importance for the public. Another unsettling question: what about the data? The footage from the surveillance cameras has to be stored as evidence for the court case. When will it be deleted, and could it be used to target people in the future? These are important questions. How facial recognition data is used can be seen in China. The Chinese government stores biometric data, like pictures, on servers to exert brutal control over the mainly Muslim Uyghur minority. With the help of an extensive network of surveillance cameras, they track Uyghurs throughout Xinjiang province. The United Nations condemns this Chinese practice as a crime against humanity. While the Hungarian government is presently targeting LGBTQ+ protesters and allies, the system could be used for anything the government deems illegal once it's installed. How long facial recognition data is stored in Hungary is decided by Hungary's data protection authorities. But whether the recordings are deleted comes down to the police who made them in the first place. Applying facial recognition in large public areas is a slippery slope. The Hungarian system might not be fully developed, but the move by the Hungarian government illustrates the effect. They're using it as a deterrent against demonstrations. Adam Remport says people should not feel intimidated for now, because facial recognition systems in Hungary can't handle huge crowds yet. The more people there are, the more difficult it is to take shots that the facial recognition system can use properly. And it's also possible to go to the court in the end if someone even gets identified. The court can influence the amount of the fine, either raising it to 5,000 forints or reducing it to a simple warning. One of several civil rights entities that can help is the legal protection organization TASZ. And some people in Budapest are already showing their fighting spirit.
It absolutely doesn't scare me. We'll get financial help from each other, like during the teachers' demonstrations. There was a common fund so that those who went on strike could claim back their lost wages from the common fund collected by the people.
Still, the dangers that come with facial recognition surveillance are not to be taken lightly. We'll keep you updated.